A devastating new study has revealed that two vital coral species in Florida's coral reef, Elkhorn and Staghorn corals, are now considered functionally extinct, following a record-breaking marine heat wave in 2023. The loss underscores the growing threat climate change poses to the world's oceans. Now, Elkhorn and Staghorn corals, named for their antler-like shapes, are fast-growing reef builders that have long dominated the waters of Florida and throughout the Caribbean. Now, these corals create dense branch-like structures that serve as crucial habitats for fish and act as natural barriers against waves and coastal erosion. Since the 1970s, both the species have been in decline, facing threats from climate change, disease, and unsustainable fishing, leaving them critically endangered. But the 2023 heat wave, which lasted nearly 3 months and brought record-high ocean temperatures, dealt a near-fatal blow to these species in Florida's coral reef, the world's third largest barrier reef.
There are some strains that are surviving against all odds, and we just need to understand their secrets. We got to whisper to the corals and hope that they whisper back in terms of what it is and the secrets for their survival, because I think if we can find those things, then that can lead us towards generating strains of corals that might be able to survive in the Florida Keys again.
Now, scientists have been closely monitoring the Caribbean as well, but early indications suggest that the picture is bleak there as well. Corals rely on tiny algae living within their tissues to survive. When these algae are stressed by heat or pollution, they leave, causing coral bleaching and making the corals vulnerable to disease and death. Now, the research involved surveys of more than 52,000 coral colonies across 391 sites. In the Florida Keys and dry Tortugas, mortality rates for Elkhorn and Staghorn corals reached a staggering 98 to 100%. Further north off southeast Florida, cooler conditions allowed for slightly lower losses, around 38%. Even restored corals grown in nurseries and planted on the reef since the 2000s were heavily impacted, highlighting the vulnerability of current conservation efforts. While these losses are alarming, scientists are not giving up. Some surviving corals have been safeguarded in aquariums and nurseries. Researchers are now studying their genes to understand what allowed them to survive the extreme heat. The goal is to introduce a new genetic diversity that can strengthen future populations. And ultimately, protecting coral reefs will require both innovative restoration strategies and decisive global action on climate change. Coral reefs are home to a quarter of all the ocean life, provide food and income for hundreds of millions, protect shorelines, and create the sandy beaches so many of us cherish.